Hi, I'm Pete Resnick.
And I'm Marya. We live in Urbana, Illinois, and we're solar ambassadors with ISEA. Today we're going to share our solar story with you and show you some of the important components of our solar system. In 2008, several years before I moved in, Pete decided it was time to go solar for the environmental and financial sense of it, and also because he's a bit of a tech geek. Pete works from home and opted for a configuration that would mitigate interruptions to this power supply from the grid.
Once I made the decision, I got started on the process of getting the system installed. Installation often takes 3 to 4 months start to finish. In 2008, there were very few installation professionals in central Illinois, and only one was local to Champaign-Urbana. Fortunately, he was knowledgeable and an experienced installer, and was able to work with me on different options for configuring the system. I chose to set up a system that feeds into a battery bank in the basement in the case of an outage on the grid, with excess going to the grid so we can realize the benefits of net metering to reduce the number of kilowatt hours the power company bills us for. You can see Peter Gore's video for an explanation of net metering. The original system had 12 panels with potential to generate about 2.5 kilowatts. In 2016, we added 15 panels and 3.9 kilowatts to the system due to very favorable pricing through the Solar Urbana-Champaign program. Acting as the lead agency in Champaign County, the city of Urbana partnered with Midwest Renewable Energy Association to run the first Solar Urbana-Champaign program that year. The program has been run every year since.
Under the program, residents and small businesses sign up for the number of kilowatts of capacity they want, and the panels are purchased in bulk, taking advantage of bulk pricing. Although program details vary from year to year, in general, the more kilowatts of capacity purchased, the better the bulk pricing becomes. Current information can be found at www.growsolar.org/solar-urbana-champaign. Each year, a contractor is selected through an RFP process to install panels purchased through the program. Once you sign up, the contractor comes to your property to assess its viability for a solar installation. If it's viable, the contractor gives you an estimate for the project and has a program-defined date by which the installation must be completed. In years when solar renewable energy credits, or SRECs, are available through the state of Illinois, participants are eligible to receive SREC income based on how much energy their systems produce. The process to receive the income is handled by the contractor. We reported our production each year to the contractor and received checks from Carbon Solution Groups in Chicago. The year that we participated, participants were allowed to receive SREC income for up to 5 years with a total cap on the number of SRECs that we could claim. We actually topped out our production this year, the 3rd year since installation. The program financials vary from year to year, and other tax credits and incentives are often available in addition to those provided through the program.
So, we now have 27 panels on our home, which supply about 7,500 kilowatts per year, or a little over half of the power we need. So now, let's go take a look at our solar system. Here you can see our solar panels. They're installed on the south side of the house. If we have one piece of advice for anyone who wants to go solar, it would be to install a critter guard, that wire mesh that you might be able to see that wraps around the outside of the panels and extends down to the roof. It's a little expensive, but we learned the hard way that it's even more expensive to repair all the damage that a troop of squirrels can do to the wires.
The wires from the panels carrying the DC energy come down this metal conduit into these breaker boxes. But because we have the battery backup, it doesn't go straight into an inverter and onto the grid like most systems, but instead goes into the house. Let's go down to the basement and see all of the internal pieces. So, this is the heart of our solar system. This center panel here is the wiring panel. It has all of the AC and DC circuit breakers. If you take a look, this metal conduit, which is the one that comes down from the roof and through those breaker boxes, brings the solar power down through here and into these two solar charge controllers. These convert the power off the roof to the correct voltage for the battery system. So 2 big wires come out through this conduit and go into this battery box. These batteries will supply power to the house for up to several hours depending on the usage. Any additional power off the solar panels that the batteries don't use goes back into the system
and into this box, which is the inverter. This converts the DC power from the batteries and the solar panels to AC power. Out of the inverter, these wires come over to these two breaker boxes. The box on the left is the circuits that are directly connected to the inverter. So if the power goes out, these circuits will still be alive, being powered by the solar panels and the batteries. The box on the right is being fed off of the grid. But there's this big connection here that goes back to the inverter. This way, if there's extra power beyond what's being used by these circuits, that will go out to the grid and spin the meter backwards. Or if the power is not enough to support the loads in this box, it will draw it from the grid to power these. So these two little boxes allow us to monitor and control the solar system. This top one is a local control panel. It allows us to monitor the usage and to change settings in the solar system. This bottom one actually connects up to a web browser, and so from the internet we're able to make changes to the settings and monitor all of the different parameters and see graphs of power usage and power input.
And that's the end of the tour. We hope it answered any questions you might have about what one of the more complicated solar systems actually looks like. If you have any more questions, the Illinois Solar Education website has lots of resources. Visit them at www.illinoissolar.org.